Hello, everybody, and welcome to this random stream at 10 to 7 in the morning for me.
Jesus.
Uh, oh, shit, hang on. At 10 to 7 in the morning.
Oh, fucking.
Oh, it's the echo, the echo and everything.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we have Councillor Clark here, who's hot off the campaign trail, to talk to us. How's it been going? Actually,
not bad. I'm here with my associate, Psych Events TV.
Yes.
Yes, we've been leaflet dropping all over the ward today. We covered actually a load of houses. And how many steps did we do?
Oh, something like. Well, I'm up at 20,000 steps right now.
20,000 steps or something. And
on the bloody pedometer on my phone.
And that's like literally just from this afternoon's like leaflet dropping and stuff. After tomorrow, it looks like 95% of my ward will be covered in flyers, and then it's door knocking time.
Yeah, it's
and
like
then...
bitch, you vote or you die.
and Ben goes to one guy in my ward, right? So you have to vote for her, yeah? And he's like,
okay,
okay.
I'm like, oh. I'm just here to tell you to vote for the local independent residents group councillor, and he's like, okay. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then a woman goes, oh, me and my husband have already sent in postal votes. Both of us voted for you because we hated everyone else. And I was like, well, I mean, at least that's a solid reason. So thanks very much. But no, it's gone well. But I just feel totally drained. Like, obviously on top of everything else, I just feel
when she's on a councillor's salary, she'll not be like, oh, it totally drains me the salary.
It's not though. You don't get a proper salary though. You know that. You just get like expenses and.
So my question to you is like, obviously you didn't escape the rain today, because I was watching the football earlier. And,
no, I didn't. That's why my hair's so shit.
And it was absolutely pissing down in Swansea.
No, it wasn't pissing.
To be honest, Chamchi, it was a bit of light spitting for maybe half an hour, and the rest of the day was dry but like muggy.
So Ben's like, you're not from our neck of the woods, so you travelled all the way down to help Angel's campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that and a piss up she offered me, but I've not even received a piss up yet.
Oh, well done, mate. Well done.
Well, we did actually
virtual fist bump and all that shit, man.
We did actually drink like
yeah.
We didn't, well.
Yeah, this is my next question. This leads on to my next question, and that is, how did you end up covered in wine, Angels? Because you said that you were wet from the rain and wine.
Well, I'll tell you this one. Basically, I was told to take a fucking group photo. But the group turned out to just be a duet because one of our group members decided not to turn up. Right. So I put my hand on the corner of a table with only one leg. You know the tables were like a leg in the center.
Oh yeah.
Right, and it rocked, which threw fucking wine across the table at her.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that was a nice way to end the day.
Nice.
But
nice.
Well, no, we did like he says, oh, we didn't go on a piss up, but actually we ended up in the pub, right? And then I think it was quite early. It was like 4 or something.
It was 4. Jesus.
I don't know, 4 or 5. And then
I'm not an alcoholic, for fuck's sake.
No, but what I mean is we had like a few. Well, I had wines there, he had ciders and stuff. But I think because the moment like we were fine walking, right, even though I felt knackered. But the moment I sat down, you know, it hits you like a sledgehammer. I was like, oh my god, like everything felt it felt like the floor in the chair was like sucking me in. I was like, oh my god, this is awful. Like my limbs really heavy and stuff. And then we had a few drinks, and it sort of like it didn't really go to my head as such. It made me just more sleepy, more than anything. So, but I don't know. I'm just glad to have got it out of the way largely, you know.
So
because it had to really be done, because obviously as an independent you're already behind as it is. So you
Yeah,
need to.
yeah, totally. So I have to ask, is there like kind of a cutoff point where you're not allowed to campaign anymore? Like until or you're allowed to like campaign up right up to the wire, so you can carry on like leafleting and like going around in your cars with your big speakers and yeah, sorry, let me come back to that in a bit. I need to know how that went. But yeah, so is it like do you have a cutoff point on your campaigning, which is the first?
Not technically. I think that you can't canvass people when you're standing in the polling station. That's like
Of
illegal.
course, yeah, I
And you
understand
can't. I
Oh.
believe that you can't
Yeah.
canvass particularly on election day, but like on polling day. But you can door knock in order to remind people to actually vote,
Yeah, sure.
like to mobilise.
Like, get the fuck off your ass and get down to that
Yeah.
polling station. Where
So,
you
well, I'm
bastard.
going to be spending my entire day on the council estate in my ward because they.
So
Like, get up, come on,
Yeah.
come vote for
Come
Angela.
on, come on.
So last time I spoke to you, Angels, right? You were talking about getting in the car with the old like loudspeakers on top, right?
Mhm.
And how did that go? Did like because you were talking say, come out to vote for Angels because Angels
yeah, but
will
you
help
can't do
you
that
get
and-
your bins emptied and stuff.
You can't do that unless it's like 48 hours before.
But you did it before though, didn't you do it last week? Or am I?
No, I booked the tannoy last week, but I told you that I would be doing that 40 hours before. But I have done it
right, okay.
previously for my dad and stuff. I've like gone around
Okay,
shamelessly around the whole ward, like yelling, vote for Brian Clark. And
That's
Vote for
that's
Baz
more
Dog,
detail I didn't
he'll
know.
get the
vote for
bins out.
Baz Dog, yeah. Yeah.
We'll help you get your bins emptied. You know these dodgy Tories. Get those
They don't
Tories
like
out.
bins. Yeah. You can.
No, wicked. So, Councillor Clark, have you decided what your superpower is yet?
The ability to freeze.
Is it real? That sounds very simple. I thought it'd be something like, the ability to constantly drink but never get drunk or something daft like that.
Well, that kind of happens anyway. Well, mainly. But still, freeze time, because then I'd never be late again. Even my clock says I'm fucking late.
Yeah, but that's because your clock's fucking wrong.
That's right.
Is it?
Mm.
Oh, Jesus. I'm wrong then.
But,
I'm not paying close attention to that clock, actually.
Well, mate, it's good to hear you down south, Mr.
Oh,
Benz. Icky
God,
Benz.
it's a
You're
nightmare down here, mate. I'll tell you, it took me 4 hours to get down here.
and you got up at what? Like,
Oh, I was up at like 5 just to get here at fucking like, I don't know, 11.
Fucking hell! It took
Mm.
you from 5, like that's 6 hours of traveling.
no, but
Yeah.
that's because he had to get to Sheffield.
Yeah, I had to get to Sheffield, so that took about an hour from where I live. Well, not an hour, like say 45 minutes, and then like a bit of extra time just in case there were, something happened. And then there's also in that time there's 45 minutes waiting at Reading Station for the train from Reading to Virginia.
Mm.
See, this is like I'm one of the only people I think right now. I'm pretty much pro HS2, right? For instance, because everybody says, oh yeah, they're quite short sighted in the fact that it will just connect like London to Manchester, for instance.
I'm gonna have to stop you on that one.
Let me finish my point, right? But the thing is, like, as time goes on, this line will be expanded upon. Like when Korea like first got their first KTX line. I mean, it was first built like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. They got their first high speed line. But since then they've expanded upon it, and now it's actually quite comprehensive. So to say that oh yeah, we don't want it, and I do understand it's very, very low on the list of kind of priorities, you know, I do feel that, but you know, it's no reason just to shelve it for that. You know, we can't do that. Do you understand?
Yeah, I
that?
mean, personally, I mean, Angels just waltz off or something. But personally, I don't mind HS2 either. Oh, so the Angels hates it, apparently.
Well, the issue with this, right? That it's
Oh, no,
no,
no, so, Cameron.
no,
I will agree, right? There is the issue that building HS2 might just lead to more people going down to London for jobs, which won't promote like a better economy within our region, right? But I do think that HS2, as a general rule, is not a bad thing.
Cameron.
well, it's not in theory, but in practice, it's going to be. Right. Firstly, I'm going to say that I live just exactly on the route. I over the seat from bedroom window, and there's a house on the estate that's going to get completely knocked down from new builds. It's the part of it is a mess. Literally knocking down warehouses, businesses as well around here. It's been quite actually this area's been on the news quite a lot about it. Well, what's it? HS2, when it's going to get built, it's not going to be cheap. Just look at current railways. It's going. The pricing for it is going for middle class people to commute to London. It's simple as that. The average person is not going to use it. The money is better spent electrifying the actual railways instead of doing this.
You might be right. Right. I've not looked that much into it, and I do think there is a significant amount of people that are like just going to go down to London instead of it trying to improve the local, as in like the Yorkshire economy, for example, or the Northern economy.
I will have to kind of stipulate that my comments are, you know, the HS2 situation, it is very, very low down on the list of priorities, you know. When it comes to reforming our society, and our society does need to be reformed, and we are reaching a third industrial revolution. Sorry, it wouldn't be an industrial revolution; it would be more of a technical revolution, I think. But and HS2 would be a part of that. But there are certain things that we need to do. So before that, such as, you know, localized power, localized farming, you know, these kind of things, UBI, these are the kind of ideas in the short term that we should really look towards. But as a whole and as a country, I think a high-speed rail system is completely essential. You know,
yes, that's one thing that says
it's as essential as you know, high-speed data networks. You know, so you know, when you look at how shit the internet is in the UK, and you think, well, why is it? The only reason it's shit in the UK is just artificial caps. Yeah, it's marketing caps. It's due to capitalism. That's the only reason that it's artificially low. They could unlock it, man. They could unlock it to the speeds that we have here in Korea. What we have here in Korea is the speed that is physically necessary for any line to actually contain, right? And that's because they don't believe in caps in things like communications, because they believe in the fact that communication is essential for a thriving society. Okay, and I think that they are basically right in that. Like, essentially, they are right. Yeah. To artificially cap the ability to communicate with each other is wrong. Okay, it's not only like, if you're a capitalist, it's on a capitalist side, it's wrong. Yeah. But on a moral level, it's also wrong, you know? So you there's no way you can justify it.
Oh no. I mean, I don't justify artificial coupling anything.
No, I know there was no argument. I'm just
Look,
put my
to be honest, Champion, I want the best damn bloody internet and the best damn travel I can get.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Doesn't everybody? And this is the
Yeah.
thing. This is the thing. And,
But
and
yeah, I mean,
this is this is the idea that runs from the top to the bottom. Of course.
yeah,
You know, the
what I'd
people
say
that-
that,
Yeah, go on.
the-
Sorry, Ben.
that this is basically sounds to me like it's basically monopolies that are all agreeing to do something. So like in one area I know, which is the haulage contractors industry, right? There's been a lot of lorry firms recently, so like say Volvo, DAF, Scania, and they've all basically agreed to artificially keep the price high, right, of their vehicles, their lorries, right? And what's that's led to basically the customers that are buying or leasing the products, it's led to them paying more, right? So basically, what it sounds to me is that basically when the capping how much you can do, it's just in the same vein as what a monopoly does, or what collusion between businesses creates. It's not free market, in my opinion.
No, it's not. It's not. I watched a wicked video earlier, and it was about how in the 1910s, 1920s in America, how they literally worked to stop monopolies, whereas in the 1990s and the 2000s, they've actually worked to encourage monopolies, you know. And this is how the everything has changed, really. Economically, everything has changed, and it just comes down to lobbyists and how laws are written, and how little, just like one little line in a manifesto can change everything. And I really found that quite interesting, and I will post it in the bullet chat so you guys can watch it.
Yeah.
But where's Angel's gone? Anyway, you look
gone somewhere else in the house and left me in power.
yeah. Can I say
Oh,
something?
she's back.
Mr. Benz, you look very sexy in that avatar.
Oh, I know, I do. With a wing and the blonde hair and everything. Look like fucking, I don't know, like Joe Johnson or something.
Oh, this is too funny. Well, okay, let's have a look at some of the comments. So the first thing is Road Dog, why aren't you in this chat?
Desert.
Desert.
Oh, I've got desert apparently.
Lemon meringue pie.
Oh, is this some of Mrs. Clark's home cooking?
It's probably Waitrose.
Oh, is it Waitrose? Oh, I don't want it then. If it's Waitrose, I don't want it.
Try it. It's probably good.
Tastes alright. Actually, those lads, it tastes alright.
I told you.
I'll let you talk again anyway, Angel.
Hey.
Hello, Angels.
Hello. I know it's kind of weird that we're like, you know, back and forth on the mic and stuff. But yeah, so what were you guys just chatting about before I got back?
Oh, it's all it was all about infrastructure.
Oh.
It really wasn't interesting, to be honest.
It doesn't sound that interesting. But actually that does link into something that I was chatting to with a couple of ward residents when they said that infrastructure isn't supporting what's been going on with planning, like the planning that's been pushed through in that area. And I think it's the same all around London, really, because obviously these blocks of flats and what have you is being pushed through, but without any means to kind of support them. So there's no parking, there's no services, there's no this, you know, the roads are bad. Like all of those things aren't actually being supported. And it's particularly bad in my ward.
Isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Oh, yeah. I mean, of course it's really bad planning, which is why I want to get elected, get on the planning committee and stop this bollocks.
I think that's the thing that happens everywhere, though.
Well, no. Why should it be though?
Exactly.
sorry,
you
sorry,
need to
why
start
should it?
electing councillors that do their job. That's my point. Like, you know, because councillors are only doing this because they've obviously got interest elsewhere. So there's no excuse for them to vote for this bollocks.
Everybody should vote for the Jack D swigging, blonde-haired Angel.
Far from, I tell you.
Vote for the Aryans.
Well, in this case though, I'd make a billion times better councillor, as far as I feel, than a lot of the people in there.
Oh, you probably would.
Yeah, I would, because I'd be more effective for the residents. I would literally vote on behalf of them and nothing else. So, yeah.
Power corrupts though. So, support.
Yeah,
something like this, you ran-
power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So, like, I'm expecting you to turn into like Skeletor in the next couple of months or something.
Oh, I'll certainly turn into Skeletor in more ways than one if I carry on walking this amount of steps every day. I'm telling you.
Champion, my jeans are already falling off me.
Yeah. And that's only been one day. But no, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Hello, Shafted. Hello, everyone in the side chat there.
Yeah.
Hello, Philip Mason, my frenemy.
Oh,
Big Phil.
Philip
Thanks
Mason.
to my lovely
sorry.
little tweet.
Philip Mason, you're a really handsome man. I've been following your
He's a very
tweets over
handsome
the last
man, isn't he?
day or two,
Oh,
and he had a jacuzzi party the other day.
He's very suave.
I think
don't think
he's a bit of a swinger.
Comment on the attractiveness of males.
Do you know what? Philip Mason carries off a quirky hat almost as well as Daddy Vince, and coming from me,
That's a
that
pretty
means-
good compliment.
that's a very good
massive.
compliment. Yeah. Me and Philip Mason have already agreed that when it comes to the end of the world, we're definitely going to have the last dance together. Isn't that right, Phil?
Oh,
Yeah, a proud Brexiter and a proud Remainer.
Remainer, yeah.
The dance of death.
The dance of death, because we're going to die anyway.
Fighting is called the death of humanity.
Swinging is the new orgy.
I hear
Philip Mason, you
like
can't come out with stuff like that.
All I can
You're meant
see
to be-
now is like a meme
Tell you what.
of
one of our
Titanic,
bosses that
you
used
know,
to,
where one of
used to
you
work
is.
for an insurance company.
Mm.
I've learned from a mate of mine who was dating his stepdaughter.
Right.
That basically the boss was doing fucking tons of orgies and shit.
Well, like swinging and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
with
yeah.
his neighbours. And
Yeah.
stuff. Oh my god.
Well,
So
what
weird.
Phil just said.
It's like I can't look at this ex-boss of mine ever again.
No. I mean, it's kind of weird, isn't it? I'm pretty sure that lots of that kind of shit goes on behind closed doors. You wouldn't know.
certainly.
I mean, yeah.
But
You only
Like-
live once. Nice one,
you don't
bro.
want to hear about it.
He's like, you only live once.
Well, yeah, but you don't want to hear about it.
Well, not when it comes to your bosses and shit, I suppose. Yeah. What's breaking news, Joe? Joey's just showed up.
Guess what's breaking news? Go on, Joe. Tell us. Go on, Joe. Go on, Joe. Go on, Joe.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I
That's
heard
him.
this-
Oh, you've actually decided to chip in. God,
Oh,
you've been
yeah,
quiet
no,
for a
I've
long
just on
time.
the BBC website, and the top thing is Sainsbury's and Asda in merger talks, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Oh, God.
And it's come up with what?
no. Has Amber Rudd resigned yet?
Amber Rudd resigned?
Has
Well,
she?
I don't know.
No, probably
Oh,
not.
God.
senior Tories have rallied around Amber Rudd amid criticism for her failure to know specific migrant removal targets. So,
Oh shit! Road Dog just beat me to
Go on.
it. She was like, "Has Amber Rudd resigned?" Dear, oh dear. All right. Angels, can you read the comments? I'm going to be gone for a minute or two, okay?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
sure. We're talking about swinging and
Oh,
orgies,
no,
which
yeah,
is all good.
I wish, yeah.
And Ray Dog's like, yeah, haha, YOLO, you only live once. That's true.
Don't think
Bubble
Roger
Biff
Ruiz
says to Cameron, based on the mathematical methods, it was proved that the Scaligian chronology, and therefore, you know all about that. No, just dump it like on the landing, like on the thing. Okay. And therefore also the Scaligian, am I saying that right? Or Scaligarian or Scaligian. History of antiquity and the Middle Ages is totally wrong. Well, I don't know about that because my history sucks. So that would be a Cameron question or a Psycho Benz question, to be honest.
Did you guys hear about David Davis? He might resign if Theresa May capitulates on the customs union.
Well, he should have sort of gone a long time ago anyway because he's awful.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't think that that's
Yeah.
really a reason. I think that that's probably an excuse for him to go.
Yeah,
To be
they should have
honest.
Mogga's Brexit negotiated. To be fair, that'd be good.
They need somebody a little bit more diplomatic, I think. I'm not sure that he'd be the best job, but you know, either way, whoever replaces him, it doesn't detract from the fact that David Davis is obviously utterly useless. So he probably needs to just get out anyway. We'll see.
David Davis is bloody good. Now he is actually good. The thing is with David Davis is he looks bad because he's being pulled by Theresa May and Jacob Rees-Mogg in like two different directions. He's being pulled by the Brexiteers one direction.
Oh, he's awful. I can't believe that people even take him seriously. Like people that say he's good, like what? He's never ever
George
displayed any
George
credibility whatsoever.
Well, and I think he's got a point actually. I think he knows what he's talking about. But the thing is, it's the other people in the party that drag him down. It's the Tories. They're as strong as their weakest link, and that's Theresa May.
No, I think they have a lot of weak links at the moment, actually. I think that they are really, really, and very openly, very publicly struggling, actually. Oh, because he can't organise a piss up in a brewery, Chad James. He has not been able to sort of negotiate shit. And nothing has been settled on. Everything has been caved to. He's also thick as a well sandwich, let's face it. Like, he's certainly not amongst the most intelligent individuals in the Conservatives.
Are you talking about David Davis out of interest?
Yeah.
Of course.
How did I guess?
Yeah, because he's terrible. No, he's just terrible. Like, I don't even want to speak about him anymore because he's irrelevant. So let's move on. And so if he goes, the sooner the better. Let's replace him with somebody who's relatively credible. I'm not sure whether there is one at this stage, but we'll see. Yeah,
He'd be good Brexit negotiator. I think Mogg would be brilliant. No, he's a Remainer. Allow that guy.
Well, he is, but he is. I will say he's probably... No.
McDonald's a leaver, actually. McDonald is a leaver.
But actually, Keir Starmer is very forensic in his analysis of stuff. So that's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, this is it. He's because of his education. I think because he was a lawyer
Director of
before.
Public Prosecutions, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think he would be very good at.
He would be.
Role.
But I'm just worried about his allegiance though, because he is a pretty hardcore Remainer. I'm just a bit worried.
Yeah.
No, but you don't. But
just to
sorry,
go completely. Go on, Angel. Sorry.
Just a very quick point, and then carry on. You don't get to Director of Public Prosecutions being anyone's fool. Like, he clearly can be forensic and impartial when he needs to be. That's my point. So he isn't tribal. I find Keir Starmer extremely, extremely able.
No, I'm not saying he isn't. I think he's a good man for the job, but I'm just worried about his allegiance once he gets in there. In which way will he negotiate? You know?
Yeah, but he's a Democrat, though.
He is. Yeah, he is. To be fair,
that's what you have to understand. He's a Democrat, so you know, democracy is the final line, isn't it? You know. Yeah. And that's what it
and being director, obviously, yeah, exactly. And being ex-director of public prosecutions, he of course holds that sacred in a way. You know what I mean? Even though I feel like that would take precedence with him. I think he's a very decent person, decent man, actually.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I was very impressed when he was campaigning during the election. I was very impressed. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And he comes from good stock because that's where his first name comes from. Keir?
Yeah,
Keir
that's
Hardie,
why
of
he was
course,
named.
yeah.
He was named after Keir Hardie. So.
Yeah, exactly
Mm.
right. Yeah. Uh, uh, I know this is a bit like weird, and it literally just popped into my head. But what would you think if Sadiq Khan, right,
Mm.
gave up his post to negotiate Brexit, right?
Oh my
Now,
God! No!
oh
No!
no,
No!
hang
No!
on,
No!
hang on.
No!
Let
No!
me
No!
justify
No!
this.
No! No!
Let me
No!
qualify this. Okay, before he became mayor of London, what was his post?
Well, he used to be an ex-human rights lawyer. I know that much.
Exactly right.
Mm.
He was a human rights lawyer, and he wouldn't have become mayor of London if he wasn't any good at his job, right? So this is what we need as a person to negotiate Brexit is someone that's good at negotiating human rights, because we
That's
need
true.
human rights at the forefront of the Brexit deal,
Or really of anything that's
of
negotiable.
anything.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I'm just
Yeah.
concerned because he said some weird stuff, like not just the whole second referendum nonsense. He actually said something like, "Oh, I want London to remain in the single market."
Oh,
with that,
yeah,
like
yeah,
they have
he
special. I
has,
was like,
he
"What
has.
the hell are you talking about?" Like, if
But
if he said that sort of thing, I mean, really,
When
Well,
he-
I'd love London to remain within the single
Yeah,
market.
yeah,
to be
he's-
yeah,
fair,
but you can jet off to the London can remain in the EU if it wants. It's a separate country, to be fair.
but again, the guy's a Democrat.
Exactly, and he will still go with it because he's at the
Yeah.
end of the day, he is a human or was a human rights lawyer, and he was a bloody good one by all accounts. So
Yeah, exactly
Yeah.
right. So I know it comes
Khan,
up.
are you nuts? And I agree with Philip Mason on this, actually.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not the biggest fan of Sadiq
no, I'm not.
Khan,
But you don't have to be a
but
fan of
if-
him to point out the facts. You know.
Exactly right. Yeah, I think he would have the skills to do that job.
Yeah.
And Keir Starmer, I think is pretty good. But
I could do it. I could do it well.
No, you could
no,
Why not?
dude. If I need someone to pick my next keyboard, I'm definitely gonna pick you. But no, when it
No,
comes to
about he used to
Brexit-
be an ex-human rights lawyer. Can you take over for a minute? I'll be back in a sec, lads.
all right, nice one,
Hello?
Benz.
Hello.
How's it going? Itchy Benz.
Today I'm Angels.
Today you're a centrist Remainer, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck Brexit.
Yeah.
Vote
Yeah,
Daddy Vince.
Yeah. But vote for a pragmatic centrism.
Yes. Radical
Yeah.
centrism.
Radical, yes. Yeah. Join us in the bunker.
See, now it's like Maximilian Pegasus.
Yes, you boy, you'll
Yeah,
have to duel me to get your grandfather's soul back.
Oh yeah, and also yeah, it was April Fools. I was basically a centrist Remainer for April Fools. So yeah.
Ah, yes. Everyone was a centrist Remainer for April Fools because it's clear and obvious who the fool actually is.
Oh yeah, so it's
but
every day is April Fool's for Angels then.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, like, I'm not sure what she's expecting me to say. She's just like, "Oh, take over." I'm like, oh, I'll take over.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, like we literally reached the end of that topic when she left. So, Benz, as you're the new entrant to this conversation, or start a new conversation. So, what are we going to talk about?
Ooh,
What would you like to talk about?
I don't know. Oh, what's everyone's thoughts on Matt Hancock?
I was a twat.
Yeah. Yeah, but he needs the question time did need a bit of Wi-Fi and fun to spice things up. So fair enough.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, I only asked that because I posted it to a conservative group of men.
I tell you what, more to the point, actually, other than Matt Hancock, you know, kind of backing up Amber Rudd, is what is going on with all the Labour MPs backing Amber Rudd. And these, I mean,
the
these
Blair-
are
oh,
all,
God, yeah.
the Blair. These are all the
Uh,
usual suspects. Don't get me
So
wrong.
Woodcock and them lot.
What I've seen on Twitter is Woodcock and what's her face, feminazi, fucking stab you in.
Oh,
Oh,
fucking
oh,
Jess
yeah.
Phillips. Jess
yeah,
Phillips.
Jess Phillips. Yeah.
Oh God, the
Those
the
are the two.
victimizer. That one, the victimizer, makes herself the victim all the time.
I would not even rape you.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Fuck.
Carl.
Yeah. So I don't get this, right? So surely, like, they should literally, because if these Amber Rudd and May are keystones in this entire I don't know what you would want to call it, this
Scandal?
Windrush thing, scandal, this entire Windrush scandal. May and Rudd are the two keystones, right?
Yeah.
And one can't fall without the other. So I understand them both, like, backing them up. But the fact that we have Woodcock backing up Rudd is absolutely blows my mind. You know, I wouldn't have seen it if it wasn't for G. Like, but fuck's sake, mate. Woodcock, mate, can you sink any lower? Really?
It is. I don't know why he's surprised. It's Woodcock. No.
That's my thoughts about this, Cameron, to be honest. It's fucking Woodcock. Like, you know, Woodcock, you expect him to oppose anything that Corbyn supports,
Yeah.
and then vice versa.
I've already seen him eat shit once on camera, and that was good, to be fair.
Oh,
Like, election night, it was so
is-
good to watch him eat shit that
Is
night.
this some kind of like fucking shock sites for the Champchi? You just get Woodcock to eat fecal matter.
Right. Is this a scat site?
It must be, Angel.
Jesus.
There you go.
Thanks.
I'll give it over there, lass.
No, you have this one.
Angels, I think you've broken Ben.
No, wait, no one was.
I think you've broken Ben's.
It's alright. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
alright as well.
Okay. Cool. Why are we
Yeah.
talking about scat? God, the conversation went downhill quick.
Because we're
didn't
talking about Woodcock eating shit.
Woodcock eating shit, yeah.
it? Is that because you hate him? Because he's like an utter Blairite and he's constantly slagging off thingies?
Recently, he backed Rudd for her job.
What the hell's in that fucking jug?
Well,
Which is a new low for Woodcock. I
Where is
think.
it?
lemonade and lime and vodka.
Oh, right, there we go. Fucking hell. I'm like, nah, there's no way that can't be alcoholic.
I'm not a lightweight.
Shafted says in the comments, I'm looking forward to Friday the 13th of July.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
what?
but we
Fucking
already
Trump.
We already
Yeah.
had Friday the 13th of, oh wait, was it last month?
Last month.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
this month, April.
Oh, wait. Oh,
Yeah,
I thought-
I just love the fact it's on Friday the 13th. Oh god.
But yeah, I had a
Road
bloody
Dogg-
exam on that day. So I'm like, oh, it's on Friday the 13th, but it's like, my mate was saying like, oh yeah, this was back in like February. They were like, oh, it's on a Friday the 13th. I'm like, oh, which one? It's like, oh, only ones are either in June or fucking April. I'm like,
Yeah.
I bet it's April.
Yeah, Rowan says I'm thinking of going as well.
Oh,
To where?
Fucking
To
so
the
should, man.
to the protest thing.
Oh right, okay. I
It'll
thought you
be,
were
it'll
meaning
be
something
one
like
of,
walk off.
again, it'll be one of the biggest protests that'll never be televised. It'll only be televised on, you know,
Open TV?
free media. You know,
Mm.
the BBC won't televise it. I bet you they won't.
Oh, they'll have to.
Yeah,
Well,
they
yeah,
didn't-
but the
they didn't
BBC now
televise
fucking
that
kind of
NHS
like
They
Well,
don't
it's
have
either.
to at all.
Yeah, they don't have
Oh,
to. I mean, they didn't.
Yeah, but I mean,
Protest
if
that
it's
massive
They
NHS
didn't,
protest.
they didn't show the NHS marches.
Yeah,
I had to
exactly.
watch that
They
shit on
never show
RT.
protest or
Yeah.
something, regardless of what fucking end of spectrum it's on.
We all forget this is the
No,
BBC.
it's all shit. Like the BBC just support whoever's in power at the time.
That's exactly
yeah.
right. Yes, Ben's. Yes, you're exactly right.
We tend to forget that BBC is anti-Trump, like CNN.
Hmm.
What the hell are you picking off me,
Well,
lass?
like
we'll
weird sort of
see.
dark
We'll
hair,
see.
so-
We'll
Oh,
see.
black hairs, aren't there?
Well, okay, but as far as I was concerned, like the BBC should have been
Just bugs me,
pro
something like that.
NHS, but it didn't broadcast the NHS marches.
Yeah.
And they were massive, you know, the junior doctors and all that shit. They should have shown every single march. They showed nothing, absolutely nothing. All the footage that I've got from there, I got from RT. And how fucked up is that?
Well, that you have to get footage from RT.
Yes, exactly right. Why should I need to get it? I should.
I know
from-
that the doctor thing was absolutely widespread, mainly because all around, not only this area but into London, I not only saw myself in the major hospitals, but I actually stood with them at St Peter's, which is where I was born, like the hospital.
And Angel's like, what were you
Mic
like,
is
Angel?
getting
Go on.
really weird,
was
by
like-
the way.
I was like,
Oh, it's because the mic's like fucking on
oh,
the.
sorry.
Yeah, it's in like a valley in between us.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe, like, there were so many of them there and stuff, but they were all so decent as far as what they were sticking up for and what they were kind of arguing. And I thought, well, I can't really argue with that. Like, I just felt like there had to be some kind of settlement that they could get to, because the way that they were being treated was just unforgivable at that point, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I completely understand. I know what I really think is that they're really scared that it's just gonna kick off and get really fucked up like the London riots. And you know how the London riots spread?
Oh god, yeah.
And I really think that's what the powers that be, like in air quotes, are scared of. Like it's really going to kick off in a big way. So they've decided not to televise any demonstrations. Doesn't matter what the size. Doesn't matter what it's about. Because otherwise, we should have been told about the NHS and about the junior doctors, and how they striked and how they really marched. And there was thousands upon thousands of people, and there were so many people that got up and spoke. And you know, like people like Ken Loach got up and spoke to the junior doctors. You know, and it was really, really touching. And you know, this shit should have been televised, but I watched it live on RT. Yeah, how fucked up is this? And then 2-3 months later, they're telling us that RT. Oh no, you shouldn't watch RT. No, 'cause that's just propaganda. You know, it's just Russian propaganda. You shouldn't watch that shit. Nah. Hang on, I'm watching live pictures from London. Live pictures from London, right? That are telling me that you know, that junior doctors are getting stiffed on their contracts. I'm watching live pictures from London where, you know, 10,000 people have decided to turn out on march on this one singular thing on to save our NHS. You know. Why do I have to go to a foreign network to watch this? This should be on the BBC.
Exactly.
I'm sorry,
I
mate.
mean,
This should be on the BBC.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have to go to channels like on YouTube like Jimmy Dore and those sorts of things to watch coverage of UK politics. I mean, that's how bad it is here. It's ridiculous.
It is weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is fucking weird.
Mm.
It's got so skewed, mate. So skewed.
Right.
Councillor Clark,
Mm-hmm.
bring us back on point.
What was the point?
I didn't really have a point.
Wait, mate. Fucking 7:30 in the morning, so it's whatever point you want it to be, as far as I'm concerned.
No, Angels, it's your point, lass.
Oh God, I don't even think I have one. I can't even think straight. we like earlier, right? When we were walking for ages anyway, right? And then we had like literally one drink each in a pub, like use a bathroom and stuff. Came out, wandered off, like had to do another road, so we went off. And then Ben's like on his phone or something. He thinks, what happened? So I went up a drive.
Yeah, she went off to like some fucking street or something. Didn't tell
No,
where she
to
was
a
going.
drive. To a drive.
To a drive. Okay, so it was to a drive like 2 hours on like the same drive. You know what I mean? Right, and I'm sat there like typing a message to a group chat, man. Right, and then I hear footsteps behind me, so I'm like, oh, Angels is that way. So while I'm still typing the message, I walk that way, and then I look up from my phone, and I'm like, 1 minute, that's not Angels.
You're like, where the fuck are you? Trying to.
So I sent a message like, where the fuck are you?
Except you actually sent me where TF ate you. And,
Yeah, where the fuck ate you? I put.
And then, but also, and then I came down this drive which had like two houses. Fair enough, it was like a long drive, and it was like, you know, like two houses in the same thing. But he was in this weird like old people's home housing estate thing, speaking to some bloke. You're like, no, I'm just looking for something. What was he asking you? He's like, are you, do you want to come in or something?
Oh, it was like, oh.
Yo, Benz, quick
Yeah.
question. It's proper
What?
posh around there, isn't it, mate?
Oh, it's proper posh, mate.
No. I went to school
Depends where
around
you
there,
go.
mate.
It depends where you go.
Wow.
The places where I was going were substantially like at least middle class. There weren't any. Well, I mean, I went to one place that
Do you
was
know, like in the same area, that's where Cliff Richard lives, mate.
Is it? Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
it is,
I mean, where I exactly went, there were like a few like student accommodation places, and then maybe like a few like flats that might have been a bit council, right? But the majority of places were like
Proper
middle
posh.
class like houses,
Proper posh.
or like
mate.
upper class gated communities.
Mm.
Oh god, yeah.
Sounds like hell.
But thing is,
I mean,
thing
they all voted Remain and they go to Waitrose. It doesn't surprise me at all.
Sounds
Mate,
about right, yeah.
it's all like Shearwater and that like.
no, my ward is really, really mixed because I've got two council estates, right? One of them is sort of mixed between students and council. There's another really sort of quite sort of deprived almost council estate, and there's fly tipping everywhere, and the council's done shit all about it. They're treated like scum. Honestly, it's awful. And then there is the sort of middle, like aspirational middle class, I'd say, sort of places which are still small, but they're still very expensive houses. And then there's the semi-detached, and then the detached, and then the huge mansions. So it's literally the most mixed ward you can possibly imagine. So obviously, trying to be an independent and to appeal to all of those is almost impossible. So you just gotta like make the most of it and see what happens.
Oh, by the way, if anybody sees a great comment, read it out and then we'll address it. Like,
I mean, a good thing about being an independent is with the whole, you know, if there's both Remainers and Leavers, you can sort of cater to both, if you will. So
yeah,
that's a good thing.
that's true.
Well, because
That's true.
especially because if you're an independent in the locals, specifically, Brexit holds little to no bearing. You know, because you are
Yeah.
literally talking.
No,
about
not apparently to FBPEs. Or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, no, there's a hashtag. It's
Don't get him
ABTV.
started.
ABTV, anti-Brexit tactical voting. That's a hashtag
Yeah.
they use now.
I'm done.
Yeah, no, people always argue with me on Twitter. The FBPE trolls, they always go after me. It's like I'm voting Lib Dem in the locals. They're like, why are you doing that? You know, vote for the candidate that's best for your ward. It has nothing to do with Brexit. And it's like, oh, Brexit councillors will represent me, and anti-Brexit councillors represent me. But I was like, no, they won't. They won't have anything to do with Brexit. So it's weird one. I don't know.
So, like I sent a video on the bullet chat earlier. You know the Life of Brian sketch. You know, what have the Romans ever given us? Well, they give us the roads. Yeah, okay, they gave us the roads, but you know,
But
what have the Romans ever given us?
Yeah.
Well, they gave us the wine. Oh yeah, the wine's quite nice. Okay, but what have the Romans ever given us? You know, and this is what I feel when it comes to Brexit. You know, and I know I sound like I want my cake and eat it, but the thing is, we need someone that's focused on the human rights that we've got from Europe, because we cannot forget, you know, the holiday rights, the rights
Working time
for
directive.
Sorry?
Working time directive. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, working time directive, and the paternity leave and maternity leave, and
Well, we actually have more. I think our maternity leave here is 52 weeks. The average in the EU is actually 14 weeks. So
okay, have you compared that to places like Italy or even Korea or wherever?
yeah,
You
but
know,
that's the minimum EU standard. That's the minimum they set out. And
okay,
most people don't use that.
and if you had these rights, which you know, Theresa May wants to scrap, do you really want them to have those rights in their hands with what they're doing with 0 hours contracts?
But
Honestly,
the thing is,
mate,
with the rights that we have, a lot of them actually came before we joined the EU and by actual
Really?
trade unions and Labour
sure?
governments. So
Are
you're
you
saying
sure?
the EU gave us all our rights? Is that what you're trying to say?
No,
basically?
I'm not saying they gave us all our rights.
No, because
But
I
when
mean,
it
a
comes,
lot of the rights we have, they'll have to scrap them from British law. It's not just EU law. They'd have to scrap them through British law, and like they know they'd lose that one. So.
but I know a lot of the human rights, a lot of the rights that we were just talking about were brought in since we joined the ECC, and since we joined the Europe.
Yeah.
Benz, are you tickling angels?
No,
No. We were
I'm
just
showing
laughing
her
about.
the fucking post about Matt Hancock. I
Honestly,
posted earlier.
there's nothing.
And someone's commented, he's a weak pen pusher, and she giggled at that.
Yeah, because Matt Hancock for some reason just really makes me laugh, especially since he was on My Political Get Through.
Exactly.
Become like, you know, a bit of a channel.
Why, do you know he was on BBC QT as well, and it really blew my mind. I was
Injected
just
it
like,
with Wi-Fi fun.
Yeah, I unfortunately missed that.
Yeah. In fact, let's like watch that.
We'll have to play catch up.
oh gosh, like it was. Yeah, well done, angels. Like well done. It was. The comedy value just lasts for days. That's all
I know. I mean, Swiss got it immediately too. He goes, Matt Hancock. Like the moment I go, so I did my countdown timer, and then, obviously I was like, no, he's got a lovely smile. He's really into his role. You know, he's really trying hard. He's very active and stuff. And the moment I started saying that, Swiss was like, Matt Hancock, straight away.
Wi-Fi fan.
Hashtag Wi-Fi fan, yeah.
I'll tell you what, Asim, this is something I want to ask you, considering you're the only other left-wing guy that experts actually on this panel right now. The last BBC QT was
Thought about that.
probably the most left wing we've had ever.
Cameron's
think-
on here. Cameron's left wing.
Yeah, he's more left wing than me actually. But anyway,
Okay, yeah, Cam. Oh, yeah, I forgot you've got 2 panelists and 1 picture. Yeah. Yeah, but Cam doesn't talk a lot, do you, Cam? See, I told you, he doesn't talk a lot.
Oh,
okay, okay.
But Asim, the last BBC QT was probably the most left wing we've had.
Because I don't watch QT, I just don't have time for it at the moment. But was it Caroline Lucas and Diane Abbott, wasn't it?
Yeah, Diane Abbott, and we had a left wing journalist as well.
Okay.
Oh,
Wait,
I'll
can you
have
now?
to watch that. I'll have to watch that. I didn't have time to watch. So.
what's his name? Yeah, go on, Cam. Sorry, mate.
Okay. I thought Michael wasn't working just now. All right. Yeah, I thought it was more left than usual.
It was, yeah,
Definitely.
exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. It was totally more left wing than usual.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I
fact-
thought Caroline
fact-
Lucas was on fire into the end.
oh,
When
mate,
they talk about Brexit.
Oh god, people's vote bullshit. Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with pretty much everything she says, but when it goes to Brexit, I'm like, nah. Because it's a bit contradictory. She calls herself like anti-corporatist, anti-capitalist, and yet she's pro-EU. I think that's a bit of a contradiction there, you know.
I think. God, there is a little bit of a contradiction. I do agree with you, Asim, but you must understand, especially with the Green Party. I mean, the Green Party are pretty far left, and that sometimes free movement of people is quite sacrosanct. You know,
But
freedom.
That's not,
Freedom.
That's not what it's designed for. They don't realise that Thatcher designed it for cheap labour.
Yeah. What's
Yes,
about the Green Party?
granted.
What's about the Green? The Green Party was Eurosceptic at one point.
Oh
In
yeah.
the 80s and 90s, it was Eurosceptic.
Huh.
And you never guess who was the leading spokesman. It was David Icke.
Yes, but the other thing that the Green Party understands is that if you're going to change an economy and change an economy in a green way, you need to do it. Well, sorry, you can't do it as a singular country. It's like the one state socialist idea, right? It doesn't fucking work, right? So you have to do it if you can do it as a whole, as in all of Europe. I mean, if you look at the green figures when and how different countries use green energies, like we are way down on the table.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because
So,
they have publicly owned green energies in the countries, don't
yeah,
they?
exactly. So exiting from the EU, how is that going to help us?
Because it would be free to make our own environmental legislation.
Okay, so we're going to exit from people that are almost world leaders. All right. So Germany, Denmark, Amsterdam,
Well,
these
it's not about-
areas are world leaders when it comes to green energies. So how are we going to help ourselves by exiting from that? And like,
Because-
I'm not saying this as a bad way. You need to understand this. It's just a question.
It's because we'd be free to make our own environmental legislation. Now the EU has environmental protections. We can improve that and make better protections. And secondly, it doesn't matter what the EU does. The vast majority of pollution in the world comes from 2 countries. That's the United States and China. Nothing's going to change without those 2 countries changing.
Okay, granted, but what I would say is China is actually actively, because they have a centrally planned capitalist economy, right? And they're centrally planning and changing the way their economy works. And I'm sure you know that, Cam. So
slowly but surely, they are
slowly,
changing.
yeah, they are changing. But they are actively doing it. But yes, I agree with you that the biggest worry is America. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
when you look at like climate change, and you go to America, it's like turning up to an earthquake with a fucking dustpan and brush, and those are Sean Locke's words, and it is like that, you know. And the fact that Donald Trump has filled his cabinet with people that are deniers, absolute deniers that this shit isn't happening, really doesn't help things for the world cause, you know. So yeah, I think we can meet in the middle on that. Do you agree, Cam?
Yeah, I would agree.
Angels.
Yeah,
Councillor Clark.
not yet.
Oh, what about the Bad Dog T-shirts?
Yes.
Well,
Oh,
we'll work on them.
you should start like a little merchandise thing. You should sell them.
Oh,
I'd
so
buy
I'm
one.
starting merch before I even
I'd
no.
buy one.
No, but that's for your dad. That's not for you as such. Well, you could
That's true.
create a T-shirt for yourself. Actually, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's I can.
Let's have a look at some of the comments. Road Dog Does Politics says, "Drain the swamp my ass." Exactly. He just refueled it. I think. But this is from Shafted. But the people who brought the climate change lie do not care about the climate. I don't know what to say about that. Do you know what to say? You can see the comments. Sorry, Shafted. I don't know what to make on
No,
that.
I don't believe. I'm a big conspiracist, but this is one thing that I do not think is like a massive lie.
I mean, I'd go shafted a little bit. I'm a bit of a climate, bit of a tinfoil hat type on that, actually.
Well, then stick to your computers and never talk to me again, please, because obviously, no.
All right,
But-
all right, okay.
No.
Okay.
I don't mean that in like a rude way. I was joking, but all I mean is like that. It's not. You can't really deny overly again and again proven science. Like it's not like a moon landing. We're talking about whether things melt or not, and when water rises and stuff actually happens, and it's a little bit different. Like I don't see it as like the same as other stuff, really.
Well, look at climate change. There is plenty of disputing studies on it. You can look as far as Jeremy Corbyn's brother on this. But
Jeremy Corbyn's brother is fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, he did some really good Brexit campaigning as well. Actually, Pierce did.
It's not crazy. I think he's got a point where the climate of this world changes all the time, right? What his brother claims is that
Hang on. Sorry, Cameron.
I'm not
Angels.
Yeah.
I think we're getting loads of noise from your mic.
Shit, sorry.
Can you put your mic on mute for a moment?
Yeah, sure.
I'm not sure if you while we listen to Cameron. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, what I'd say is the people who control the industries of this planet.
Sorry,
That's not
Cameron. Sorry, mate. It's not you. It's not you, Angels.
It's
Either.
me.
No. I don't know what it is.
Oh.
Is
I'm hearing something on my end, so I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you
Can you hear
in
it?
the background?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
something.
it sounds like wave like crashing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just died.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. All right.
It's not me, is it?
Don't think so. Oh. Oh,
No, no, no.
yes.
Yeah, go. Sorry. Go, Cam.
Yeah. So all I'd say about climate change, the climate's always changed throughout our recent history. Now, in human history, we had warmer climates. Like, let's take for instance the medieval warm period, where the climate was actually warmer than it was today. Believe it or not, I'm not sure what the reason behind that was. We also had the mini ice age as well. After, so there's a chance like covering up human based climate change, but in my opinion, it's a combination of both man-made climate change and natural phenomena. And when someone says it's a lie, I'm sympathetic to that view because I think the people who control society are lying about the truth and about how to stop
yeah.
this.
Yeah. I mean,
I think we have the technology, and I think we're doing it on purpose because we will make less money if we switch away from, let's say, oil, for instance.
Yeah, well, I mean, Cameron, I think you really touched on the point. I will talk now as a socialist, and I don't normally do that, and as a protopianist, right? And I feel that with the technology that we have today, there is no reason why we should be taking fuel out of taking these earth bloods out of the earth to fucking hell, it's getting really noisy. There is no reason why we should be taking oil out of the earth. There is no reason at all. We have the technology to go beyond this. We have the ability to harness the energy of light from the energy of the wind, the energy of the waves. You know, there is no reason why we should use this. You know, it's only like old school bankers that really want us to rape this shit out of the world. You know, there is no reason to do this. Whether you agree with global warming or not, I don't give a fuck. I really don't. I couldn't give a fuck. Full stop. You know, even if you're an ANCAP, if you are an ANCAP, if you're an anarchic capitalist, right, which is the worst person I could ever think of, right, then surely business wise, right, you would need like the most energy for the least energy invested, the ERRI. Yeah, that's what they call it, you know. Energy invested for energy return, you know. So surely you should be going for renewable resources. Surely.
I agree. I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on and bring up Nikola Tesla.
Of course. That isn't even a conspiracy. That's fact, mate. That's fact. Tesla, like Nikolai Tesla, proved that you could farm electricity from thin air through static electricity. You know, he proved that, and he in his books he wrote about it.
Well, according to the conspiracy theories about it, who took that technology? It was the American intelligence, the CIA, who took the technology for themselves.
Yeah, of course.
and I think there's truth into it.
But the bottom line is, right now, with the technology that we have, why are we still burning fossil fuels? Why?
It's all about the money. It's all about the oil.
Exactly. Follow the money.
Mm.
Follow the money. There is no reason. Like, I mean, if you think
And
personally, the tech that we have, personally, I mean, we were talking about it earlier
Yeah.
in the bullet chat. What George would say, African tribal chat. You know, we're talking about the tech that we have personally.
Yeah.
You know, so if we can do that, why can't we get our cars to run on water, for instance? We do have the ability to do that. It's just we don't have the financial or the political will.
Yeah.
I think
I mean, we're
that's
deliberately
different.
being held back. That's a problem.
Yeah, we don't have the financial or the political will. That's it, isn't it? That's the crux of it. We don't have the political will to actually change society for the betterment of society.
Yeah.
Shit, man. Asim, we've just solved society. And then it all goes quiet.
Wow.
So either I'm talking shit or you all agree.
I agree.
I think everyone agrees, unless someone objects anytime soon.
Here we go. Shafted says exactly. It's all about money and profit. Yeah. Philip Mason says no wind, no power. Okay, this is an interesting argument that I've seen from a number of people, and this is the idea that that we spent a lot of money as a government, and I think Philip Mason is right in this, is that we spent a lot of money in offshore wind turbines.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
the problem with offshore wind turbines and even onshore wind turbines is the first thing is they're really fucking ugly. Second
yeah.
thing is that they can be very, very inefficient. And that is if you're going to put them into water, they're very corrosive. They can be corroded very, very easily. So that means you need to use high-end metals. The other thing is they only work when the wind blows. But what I would say to Philip Mason is that there are other solutions, very, very much more simple solutions, such as wave mechanics. So you can put tubes in places like the Bristol estuary, which has one of the biggest tides in the world, right? So you put some tubes in there, and you'll get massive amounts of energy, and they're literally tubes with turbines in them. And so the thing is, the problem with the government and the solutions that they've tried to push is they've tried to push one solution for the entire country, whereas what should really happen is it should be localized. Okay, so the energy solution for each area should be literally localized. So if you're in the sunny part of England, such as in the south, then solar panels, yeah. If you're in a windy part and you're in the highlands, such as in the north, then turbines and that kind of shit. It really depends on where you are. the problem with our government over the last 8 years is they've failed to have this nuance. Yeah. So yeah, that would be my argument towards that. You understand that, don't you? I know I ramble a bit, but yeah, you understand that. That's him and Cameron.
Yeah.
Go on.
What I'll say is that using wind or solar is it's nowhere near as effective as burning something, and that's the problem. I don't think we can effectively, let's say, power our cities by doing that.
No, I completely disagree. I completely disagree. The problem is my solution would be is that you localize it more rather than nationalize it. And this was my argument in the first place, is that you take because there are numerous renewable resource solutions, but it really depends on what resource you have within the situation.
Yeah.
Let's take an example. An example would be Iceland. Yeah. Now they've been running on geothermal energy for basically since the year dot, right?
Guys, sorry, I hate to cut in, but I really have to go because I'm up super early tomorrow. But thanks so much for having me, and carry on. And we might be in the side chat for a bit, but otherwise, I am out on my feet. So I will see you guys later. Okay?
All right, nice one, Angel. Oh, Councillor Clark, take care.
No,
of
not
yourself.
yet. But if stroke when I win, obviously I'll be doing like coverage of it and stuff.
Nice
Hopefully
one.
Swiss will
Can't
be too.
wait.
If he
Can't
does
wait.
make his famous comeback, hope so.
Nice one, Angels.
Ed
Alright.
Balls.
Ed Balls.
Fucking
Yeah.
balls, mate.
All right. I'll speak to you later, guys.
Nice one. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye.
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 Okay, so Iceland works on thermal energy because the Earth's crust is very, very slim there. That's why they called it the island of fire and ice, right? It's because the Earth's crust is very, very slim, so they can pump the water down. I mean, the tech that they actually use for geothermal energy is actually very, very old. It's like, proper steam stuff. They pump water down, it comes up as steam, and it turns a turbine. It's not rocket science, not the kind of stuff that we should be using. But if we apply, up to date ideas, yes, of course, and we localize what we actually need and how we can use energy, of course we can. Like we have the technology now, right? For you, right, to have a cable in your hoodie to plug into your phone, and as you walk to work, it will charge your phone, right? That's the tech we have now, right?
Yeah.
So why can't we charge? Why can we not supercharge our villages? Why can we not hypercharge our cities? This is bullshit. We shouldn't be fucking burning anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've heard things like. Sorry, I was gonna say. I heard ideas like we should use, in let's say gyms, for example, we should use that to generate energy. That's what I've heard.
Mate, that was a Black Mirror episode, by the way, and you should watch it. It's called 50,000 Credits. Yeah, you should watch it. And it's about guys that they're on treadmills and they power society. But yeah, it's an interesting one. It's Charlie Brooker, mate, so it's gonna be brilliant. Yeah. So, but yeah, check that out. So yeah, that covers your argument, Cameron.
Oh yeah, I'll agree, but the problem is the solar and wind and tidal energy. On average, is less efficient. It's matter if you're on top of a hill or it's sunny all day. It's not as efficient as burning things. That's why it's so difficult to find a solution.
No. Okay. This is again. These are arguments that I've heard a lot of times before. Yes, wind is inconsistent. Yes, sun is inconsistent. I agree with you, but tides, okay. If you're by a coast, we're a fucking island nation for fuck's sake, which is the first thing. But tides, you can predict for days and months, you know, because it's on the movement of the moon, isn't it? Tides, yeah. So the tides comes in and tides comes out, right? That's energy. Harness that energy, and then you've got power. We're talking gigawatts, like almost enough to power a DeLorean to go back 80 years in time. Oh God, I can't believe you didn't get that joke. Makes me sad. Bubblevitz, tell me you got that joke.
Is it because you're too young? Is that why?
Oh, okay. Here's a great argument. Phil Mason says you need hardcore battery storage for these exotic ideas. They don't exist yet. We have to be practical and now get these coal mines back open. No, I completely disagree. I think that Elon Musk actually has really good battery technology. In fact, he's actually put it into practice in Australia. So I would say you should check your sources. Nice one, Phil, though. Great argument.
So what major thing we could do is to burn human and animal waste.
Yeah, I think so. I think biofuels would be a good go between, definitely. So animal waste. Like if you want to eat like cows and shit, like you should farm cows in a tent and capture all the shit and the piss and the wind and stuff that they actually produce, because that's a lot of fuel, man. That's a lot.
Oh wow, yeah. You give me what's the word, like a brainwave. Like, we're doing so much stuff that we could be just doing as normal to make energy. It's like, why haven't we done this already?
Well, yeah, I mean these are not my ideas. These are from past Green Party manifestos shit, man. And these ideas are like 5, 6, 7 years old. So it's not new stuff. But yeah, I do agree with Phil Mason that the battery tech hasn't been there, but Elon Musk has kind of broke that. I do believe that, and this is like tinfoil hat time. I do believe that battery tech has been held back by the like oil cabals and the people, the oil lobbyists. I really think that
Joe mentions in the chat, he mentioned Saudi Arabia and the oil producing countries.
Yeah, I do think that they've held back battery tech, because if you get a decent battery, you're fucked, or a way of storing. As soon as you get a house, right, that you can build with a 3D printer, right, that has its own infrastructure built into it, right, and it has its own way of generating its own energy, storing its own energy, then countries like Saudi Arabia will become irrelevant, and then all these wars would become irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, like, what do you think will happen with like the rich, United Arab Emirates, that sort of thing? What do you think is going to happen to them in the future? Honestly, I don't know.
They invest a lot of money in tourism, actually.
Cam. Your mic just went really fucked. Try again.
These countries have been investing.
No, it's still fucked. Still fucked. Oh, that was really bad. What do I think will come with the Eastern European countries? Middle Eastern countries, sorry.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's a big question, isn't it? I really don't know. It's a
yeah.
good question though.
Yeah, because if we switch to renewables, then America won't have an excuse to invade other countries as well.
Well, I think that the first thing that's going to happen is the petrodollar's got to die first.
Yeah. Is it better now?
Oh, much better. Yeah, granted. Sorry,
Yeah.
go for it, Cam.
They're being invested heavily in financial services and in tourism, especially in places like Dubai.
Mm.
And I think that's what they're planning to do when the oil goes.
True. But there are a lot of areas even though they are oil rich areas, they are still seen as third world countries. How do you think that they will go over that? And this is basically just due to corruption, right? And I realize this, but
I'll talk about Libya in that case.
well, no, I mean, you could talk about Libya, Syria, you could talk about Afghanistan, you could talk about Kurdistan, talk about
Afghanistan,
Georgia.
War. It's been basically at war for decades, that country. No one was a third world country.
Yeah.
Well, it's part of the corruption and how's the expectation of the region?
You've gone again. Cam, you've gone again, mate.
I don't know.
Sorry, mate. But it is. I mean, who am I to comment on the Middle East, mate? I can't. I can't. I couldn't do that. What do you think, SM?
I'm not sure, but I just think like the time is running out for them. To be fair, unless they transition to something else, you know. I think it's like they're deliberately sort of holding us back. I mean, if they didn't rely on oil for their economy, I think we'd be much further ahead.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, Cam, you're back again. Talk to me. No? Okay. But yeah, I think the petrodollar is gonna die. China is gonna take over the world, and then I'm gonna lose my job, basically, because it's gonna become irrelevant. Well, that's gonna happen anyway.
Yeah. What do you mean your current job?
Well, yeah, because I teach English, whereas everybody will want to learn Chinese. So,
Oh yeah.
but you know, I mean, what are you expecting to do for your job? Like, if you think in 5-10 years time, you know,
I don't know.
designing AI, that kind of stuff, it will be.
Probably. Well, I'm studying computer science, so I could probably go into that, but I don't know. But
that'll be designed by AI because they'll be much better than you, wouldn't they?
That's true. But it's funny because humans design AI and they could probably be better than their designers one day. Which is sort of weird.
It's not weird, it's scary.
Oh yeah.
Ah, wicked. Yeah. It sounds wicked. Nice one, Cam. By the way. So where do you see the future, Cam?
I think we're going to be enslaved by robots. To be fair.
No, I see. Well, no.
Well, let's say if we will create a self-thinking, a self-replicating AI, and it thinks, what if a program say, what can we do to help humanity? And what's it going to suggest?
It's basically going to be like Ultron, isn't it? Pretty much.
Okay, right. So, if you want my protopian idea, right? So the idea is, okay, so China, Russia, Brazil all dump the dollar at the same time, right? Dollar crashes, right? America tries in its weakest state to keep control of its empire. A revolution happens, uprisings across the entire four continents. Okay, America decides it can't hold on to it, so it has to succeed to China. Okay, China understands from its Maoist roots, yeah, that workers' rights. Okay, and then it puts out a people's run AI through negotiations with America, UK, and Europe. That's what I think is going to happen, and it's going to be completely open source. But that is completely protopianist. That's what I hope would happen, but it will be really, really shitty because it would involve a revolution in the meantime, and that is what I don't want. Not
The thing is that the AI is, what if the AI is self-knowing and it looks at humans as a scourge? This is quite likely to happen if you look what we do to the planet. We don't know how the AI thinks.
That's a bit Terminator, isn't it? It's a bit Matrixy. It's a bit Terminator. No, I don't think so. Because it's going to be designed by humans, and it has to obey the 3 rules.
But why would it? It's going to get more intelligent, and it's going to increase in its intelligence.
But I mean, if you look at the brains behind it, though, right? So, like, there are lengthy lectures on this. I mean, Elon Musk has spoken about this, and the only way you can stop this is to keep it open source. It has to be open source. That is the only way to keep it malevolent, right? Okay, so you can't have something that's private or owned by any one private economy or country. So it has to be open source, so anybody can access it, anybody can improve it, anybody can access the code to it.
But what about someone with malicious intent, though? You know, if a hacker or something
Okay. So my argument to that would be is that you have a 3D printer, right? Or there are 3D printers, right? What's stopping people printing guns on their 3D printers? Yes, it does happen, but it's almost statistically a statistical anomaly, right? It just, people generally, right, are not shitty, right? That's the thing, right? If we were statistically shitty, then we just wouldn't have survived this long, right? If you read Richard Dawkins' The Selfish Gene, you would know this, you know? Altruistic genes generally survive, whereas shitty genes generally don't, right? So if you want to survive as a human race, then yeah, it's just not going to happen, right? And we can literally look at our entire race, our entire history, to conclude that.
Yeah.
No, that's a bit. I think it's more to do how we. Let's say how we run society.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah. I think that's going to be a big part of it. How we run society, definitely.
So we shouldn't make an AI or self-replicating. and increasing intelligence constantly. It's playing with fire, to say the least.
Well, you sound like a Luddite, actually. To be fair,
Well,
I mean,
this is not any random technology. This is something self-aware. We're creating another entity what's self-aware. It's you're asking for trouble, because you should know it. No, it's humanity what's on the main problem on this planet. Then what is the AI going to think? That's what people that's what people fail to understand. What the AI is going to think and do. I hate to go into
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cameron. I have to disagree. You definitely sound like a Luddite. You do sound like a Luddite. I know that's really, really bad for me to say, but like I want to embrace the future, not deny it. And AI is going to be a part of that, whether you like it or not. AI is a part. In fact, AI is a part of our lives now, whether you like it or not. Yeah.
Still, would you trust? Would you trust it with your life? Look,
No.
okay.
Granted, I think you have hit on a point there. Yes, granted, that the situation we have now is not a good situation, right? And if we are going to go towards it is the third of the four futures that Peter Fraser actually predicted. And it's not good, but it's unsustainable. If we do carry on, it is unsustainable. So we can't carry on like that. Okay. So something has to change, right?
So we need the AI to change, or we could do that ourselves. It's humanity not capable of solving its own problems without creating another intelligence above us.
Well, to be that is an interesting point, but the thing is, you cannot turn your head away from AI, right? It will do things, or it can do things better than on specific tasks. You must understand right now it's on specific tasks. The AI that we're talking about right now is on something that is learning in real time. That's the kind of AI that you're talking about, right, Cam?
Yeah.
Now this isn't here right now, but it will be here very, very soon. And the idea is that if you speak on the phone to AI, that you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between whether it's human or AI. And when that point happens, that's when the technological evolution will happen. Okay, so once that point happens, then do you think, right, on your like kind of Mad Max kind of Matrixy Terminator kind of way, do you think we'll actually have control of it, or do you think we'll be out of the way? Or I mean, I need to ask you, what do you think?
I think it was subtle and we wouldn't notice it.
Well, of course. Like I said to you, we have AI that's included in our lives right now.
Yeah, we have the virtual assistants.
Yeah, of course, but how intelligent is that AI? Is it really self-aware?
It's not self-aware. That's true.
What was that for?
But it's every year I use applications, right? There's this wicked app that I use called Papagogo, right? And it's like the you ever seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? You ever seen that movie or ever read the book or whatever?
I think I've seen the movie.
Yeah, it was quite famous like 5-6 years ago, I think. Anyway, it was about this little alien that they put into their ear and it translates everything, right? It's a bit like that, right? And what do? I teach language, right? So I find this quite disturbing, you know, because what I can do is I can speak into this app, right, in full sentences, almost paragraphs, and it will translate it into whatever language I want, almost real time. Okay, and the grammar would be correct, which completely fucking blows my mind, right? Like if you remember your French lessons when you're at school, right? And adjectives and nouns, right? You say it's a red book. Okay, the adjective and the noun. The adjective is red and the noun is book, right? So we have adjective first and book is last. Okay, being the noun. But in French, it's the other way around. You know, the book is red. Okay, rather than red book. You know. Now this is the thing, like how it can distinguish different grammar through different languages, through so many different languages, actually blows my mind. And this is an app that's free to download on your phone today, now, right? And this means this tells me that my job as a language teacher, my days are numbered, mate. My days are numbered. Whether I actually reach at doing the job that I do, whether I actually reach retirement age, so I 60, 65, so we're talking, 30 years, I don't think so. Not at all. Considering the tech that we have now. And this is the problem, is that a lot of people, just do not understand the tech that we have now. And people do not understand how their jobs in the next year or two, like taxi drivers in London, for instance, is a massive, massive money spinner, right? Like taxi drivers in London are wicked. Like it's, they've just fought off Uber, and I think they're wicked. They're absolutely awesome, and they do provide a service. But once self-driving cars.
Oh yeah, that was another thing. I think it was that Elon Musk was saying, you go to work, you park your car, and then it self-drives itself to to pick up different people as sort of a taxi service.
Right. Again, and exactly right. And just to come back to Marx, right? And this is what Marx was talking about when he says about the ideas of possession, right? You don't generally own stuff, you just rent stuff, essentially, or you just use stuff for a certain amount of time, because how many cars are there in the world? And if you think 90% of all of the cars in the world and 90% of the time, what they end up doing is just standing still, right? Cars are there to be driven, and they're a form of transport.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so if you imagine that cars are automated, then why should you own it, right? You don't need to own it, and then it becomes free because it's running on renewable energies. So
Yeah.
and then if you extrapolate these ideas, right? And this is, again, this is not stuff that's new. This is stuff that Marx fucking knew about, fucking 150 years ago. So you extrapolate these ideas, and then you're just like, well, then ownership becomes fucking pointless. What's the point of owning a car, right? If you have a way of transport to wherever you want to go, whenever you need it, what's the point of owning a car?
Well, some people enjoy driving.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Granted,
So I'll
but
put-
some
I'll
some
put
people
them up.
enjoy driving. I agree with that, but we have virtual reality for that stuff.
Yeah. But like some people like buying cars and like tuning them and like making personalizing that sort of thing.
Of
So-
course. But that's a niche market, and there's always room for a niche market. Like don't get me wrong. Like I'm a photographer, and like it's all about digital now. But if I had my way, in my apartment, I would set up a dark room, and I would have a large format camera, and I would shoot film. Everything I did, I would totally shoot film. But that's a niche market, so it's irrelevant to society. I think,
But, yeah. And what about the fact that like people like to buy luxurious cars and stuff as well? That's another thing.
Well, again, I think it's like the NHS. I mean, you have a basic service, and then if you want anything more, then you pay extra for it. If you want anything more.
Okay, so like a free tier, and then you've got sort of different tiers, but like the basic tier is available to everyone, that sort of thing.
Well, it's a basic service, but if you want a limousine, for instance, to drive you around, and you don't want to share your car, first thing you need to understand is there the carrying capacity within your society to do that, right? And are you being a cunt? And this is the thing, right? And this is the social change I think that people need to understand, is that there needs to be a social change. This complete gluttony that we've seen. A prime example would be MTV's Cribs. You've seen that? You've seen MTV's Cribs?
No, what's that?
Basically where they go to like a star's house. So it could be Kanye West, for instance, and he goes, "Hey, yeah, come look around my crib, man." And he goes, "Oh yeah, this is my living room, and it's like this massive fucking living room, which is fucking pristine, all like laced in ivory and marble and stuff." And he goes, "Here, look at my garage, which is like got like 15 cars in it." And he goes, "Hey, look at my playground, and it's got like a basketball court." This kind of gluttony. This is what I'm going to call it. Gluttony is unsustainable, mate. And it's about time that people actually start calling it out. This is greed. How many of these earth resources are you actually taking up in your fucking greed? And it is greed. There's no way that someone needs 15 cars, right? I understand if they're like collector's cars, but like there's no way you need like all these off the shelf fucking 15 off the shelf cars just because I just want to drive a different car every day, because to be seen in the same car twice is just a bit like poor. I don't want to be saying, like, fuck off, mate. Just shut up.
These people are idiots. It gets worse, actually. There's persons in America, right? In the middle of the desert, they have a lot of grass. And they just pump gallons of water every day on this grass. It's like Las Vegas to do it. In the middle of the desert, they have grass out of nowhere, and they just pump water and water onto it. There's no real reason for it. It's just wasting water.
Hmm. Yeah, totally.
You know, when there's in Africa, right? The Sahara is expanding.
Yeah.
The Sahel is moving south. There's persons that need that water. Instead, putting crops up there, they're putting gallons of water, maintaining grass. For things like really aesthetics and golf.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. They just I should say it's like, you know, there's sorts of like aesthetics and stuff like that. Like they use up the water, don't they, for those sorts of things.
Well, this is again where it comes to the difference between left and right. I think one of the fundamental differences is that the right always accuses us. Okay, if we slag off people that are rich, then it's the politics of envy, you know. And so we envy these people that are rich, you know. I mean, like, I am not rich at all, right? At all.
Yeah.
But I can live within my means, right? And I have the ability to save, right? And I think that these people that have this vast amounts of wealth, you know, like 3 families hold more wealth than the bottom, what is it, 40 or 50% of the entire world. I think that is absolutely vulgar. Yeah. Yet this is supposed to be something to be aspired to. You know, that makes me sick. Yet I have the politics of envy. You know, and there needs to be a cultural shift. You know, and we haven't hit that yet. And until we hit that cultural shift, nothing will change.
Yep.
Nothing will change. And then we're gonna hit like Mad Max levels in like 15, 20 years or whatever, when we lose all our resources or whatever. So going full circle, I suppose. I mean, that's it. Like, I mean, you've agreeing, but like, you can't argue. Do you agree with me?
I sort of agree, and I'm tired as well.
Yeah. Shall we wrap this up then, boys?
Sure, why not?
What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm getting a bit tired as well.
Oh, mate. Yeah, me too. It's
you haven't got anything on today either. It's Sunday, so yeah.
So did you talk to Sty? Did you find out what
No, I haven't talked to him yet. I haven't talked to him yet, but I mean, I'm assuming around afternoon, because I don't want to wake up late again like I did today. I woke up at 12, so hopefully that would happen tomorrow.
Well, what time was it last week, Cam?
Remember?
Oh, I think it started. It was about between like 3 and 4 o'clock, something like that, when it started.
God, that's really late for me.
That is.
Right. It's been a big week for careers, and I really want to talk about it.
Was it is it Kim Jong Un and was it President Moon? Wasn't it?
Yeah. There's
Yeah, because you saw them like walk over the border together, and they were like shaking hands, smiling, and they were talking. I was like,
oh yeah,
what?
yeah. Friday night was such a great night for everybody in Korea. And I cannot express this to you, like how great it is. it's the first time in 65 years that anybody from South Korea has crossed over the border as a neutral, you know, and it's absolutely brilliant. And there's so much that the Western media hasn't covered.
Oh
You
yeah.
know? Yeah. And
Because didn't they agree to like stop fighting, officially like end the war and like disarm or something?
Oh, that's just the least of it, honestly.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
What else?
I heard,
Obviously-
I see. I want to save it. I don't want to tell you. I want to save it for either a Sunday stream. See, I've.
is it going to result in a united Korea?
I don't know. We just don't know. So I can't.
But who started it? If people are theorizing it might be Trump, Moon, or
yeah.
it'd be really funny if like Kim Jong Un like got a Nobel Peace Prize and the Western media went to meltdown. That'd be hilarious.
Well, I've done research on Kim Jong Un. Right, it's not. It has very little upbringing in Switzerland. It was basketball loses American culture actually. And I saw some interviews about him. I saw some personal chef. His personal chef said, I want North Korea to be like China. There's a documentary about it. So
the foreign secretary of South Korea said to the MSM in America that this couldn't have happened without Trump doing what he did. But I think she was very aware of there is still a meeting to come between Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump, and she just wanted to keep the waters clear.
Yeah.
Okay, and considering how positive, and it has been really, really positive these last few days, she didn't want to muddy the waters, and this was published in the Telegraph.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard from, this is anecdotally, is that this has happened despite Trump, not because of Trump. But I'll go into that more either tomorrow night or I'm due in the next week or so to be on JJ's channel, so that's going to be quite exciting.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So that I want to go into depth with him there, but we'll see what happens. But yeah,
what I do know on this is that North Korea has been offering denuclearization for years.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
And apparently it's Americans that blocks it.
Yes, exactly right. And the fact they're going to do bilateral denuclearization despite America, I think is brilliant, right? And this is why I think, why can't England do the same fucking thing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but we're America's bitch though. That's the problem.
Well, South Korea has like been again. This is stuff because this all links into stuff that I'm going to talk about hopefully tomorrow, if Sty allows me, because you know he's doing the Sunday stream. But if not, it will be on JJ's channel midweek, I think. But I don't know yet because, mate, we've been chatting, like me and JJ have been chatting for fucking years, man. But we just never got shit together. I was supposed to actually meet him like last year, but my fucking it's just weird.
So you've known him for a long time then?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I was one of his first subscribers, actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh. Be interesting actually, now because he's gone quite big now, hasn't he? Like 4K subscribers or something. Gone really big. Now.
Six, I think. I was.
Oh wow.
I remember he was quite smart actually a couple of years ago. It was like a couple hundred.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we've been chatting for a long time. We've been promising to talk, right?
Yeah.
And I was supposed to go to Liverpool and
Where is
meet him.
JJ's channel? I'm just gonna link it for Bob Elvis.
Yeah, it's called A Up Let's Talk.
Hey up, let's talk. I'm just gonna link
Yeah.
it from now.
But yeah, we've had a personal.
Oops, remove any
kind
web
of-
addresses and try again. I can't link it. Sorry. I don't know why, but it's called A Up Let's Talk because it says on my screen. Oops, remove any web addresses and try again. So I can't link it.
You can't link it. Ah, right, okay. Let me try and link it. It could be because you're not a because
Probably.
you don't have a spanner, mate. Do ya?
Don't think
I don't know
so.
why. I should sort that out, mate.
Yeah.
Where's Eop? Let's talk. He's to be fair, he's doing really well. And
Oh yeah, I like his content a lot actually. Because he's very like no bullshit. He's like straight to the point, and I like that as well. And he just says it how it is. So, you know, I really got into his stuff around the election time. That's when I discovered his channel, and I've been addicted to his stuff ever since.
Hang on, let me see if I can do this.
Yeah, there's
Add administrator. Okay, so now Asim, you're an administrator on my channel.
Oh, thanks. So is
Yeah,
this
no worries.
is this permanent or is it just for the stream?
It's permanent, yeah.
Oh,
So
thanks.
Yeah,
How
no
do I do the same for you when you appear on mine? How do I do
I
that?
don't know. You haven't
have-
invited me back after the last time. Did
Oh,
I?
damn,
Did I?
Yeah, I mean, I might do an after stream or something tomorrow. It depends. I don't know. But I've got my usual Wednesday slot, and I think it's Calvin or me might organize someone like, you know, someone who's not really on YouTube. Like,
I really miss
I-
Calvin. Like, me and
Yeah,
Calvin
no,
got
he
on
was-
really
he was
well.
ill.
He's
some-
so awesome.
I think he had some like surgery or something. He was
Oh,
ill, and
no.
now he's gone back to canvassing now. So now we've started to chat a bit.
I know he's been
So it's pretty
working
nice.
hard the last couple of weeks.
Oh, he has, yeah, because he was on he posted a picture of his canvassing on Twitter, I think
but,
today. Oh yeah, yeah, I like Calvin, great guy.
no, I do.
'cause
I
yeah.
love that. I think he's brilliant. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah,
Like I said,
oh yeah,
camper than a handbag full of rainbows, but absolutely brilliant.
oh yeah. God.
But yeah, totally cool.
Yeah, I mean it's a shame because George was busy and I mean he had his stuff, so I've been sort of just running the channel, like covering for Swiss, and at least they're back now, so they can do stuff on the channel too. So.
All right. So let's wrap up the stream.
All right.
Thank you, Shafted, Bob Elvis, everybody that's joined us for this weird fucking stream. And guys that are actually here, so Sim and Cameron, just please hang around when we go off air.
Yeah, sure.
Bob Elvis, I'll never block you, and if you say like some weird fucking Holocaust denial shit, then fuck it. No, I know. I don't think I could ever block anybody, to be honest. But, anyway, take care of yourself, guys, and I appreciate Bob Elvis for being there every time. Goodbye. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.